Hello bookworms! Today I'm here to do a comics and manga haul, which is something that I've been promising for a while and hadn't gotten to, so I am very happy to be doing it today. I have a lot to show you because I kind of waited too long between videos, and that is my own fault. But so I'm gonna try not to wait this long between now and the next time that I post one, but I'm just gonna get into it because there's a lot here. So first I have Batman 66. This is written by Jeff Parker and the art is by Jonathan Case. I got volume 3, volume 4, and I also got volume 5. And I picked these up because I have really been enjoying them. I read the first 2 volumes of it and they're just so funny and they're so colorful and I really enjoyed the artwork. And I really liked the Batman 66 television show. I recently got the Blu-ray of all of them because they came out with a special collection because it had never been released before, and that was really exciting. So I picked that up and I can't wait to watch those also. I'm just a huge fan. I love Adam West. I think he's one of the best Batmen. I'm actually wearing a bat bow for this video too, if you can see. Then I picked up Batgirl Silent Night by Kelly Puckett and Scott Peterson. And this is the arc of Cassandra Cain as Batgirl. My favorite Batgirl will always be Stephanie Brown. I have not read Cassandra Cain's storylines yet, but I'm in the middle of this one and I'm enjoying it so far, but I still think that Stephanie will always be my #1 Batgirl. Then I have The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. This is by Roberto Aguirre Sacasa and Robert Hack, and this is a horror comic series about Sabrina from the Archie comics. I remember I was so excited when this was coming out. I got the first issue and I loved it, and then the second issue didn't come out for months and months and months, and it's been the same way between each issue. So I was like, that's it. I'm definitely just waiting until there's a collected edition for me to read because I can't take this wait between issues. It's ridiculous. This came out recently and I immediately picked it up and I really love it. I haven't read the rest of it yet, but I'm definitely planning on reading it either this month or in October because obviously Halloween is coming and this is the perfect spooky read for this time of year. Then I picked up Blue Monday, and this is by Chinna Clugston and Flores. I don't know their first names, but I actually showed this off in my vlog video when Monica and I had gone to Barnes & Noble together, and this book is all about kids who are really into fashion in high school, and they're kind of alternative, and they're a little bit of misfits and stuff, so that just was something that really appealed to me. Then I got Saga Volume 6, which is, I think everybody knows all about Saga at this point. It's by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples, and it's amazing, and I was obviously going to get the next trade, so here it is. Then I got Jughead by Chip Zdarsky and Erica Henderson, and this is the first volume in the new run of Jughead, which I'm so excited to read because I really loved the first Archie graphic novel, and I just think that Archie Comics has been doing such great things recently with all of their books, between the Sabrina book I just showed and Archie and now Jughead, and Chip Zdarsky is such a funny writer, so I just know that I'm gonna love this one. I'm really looking forward to reading this before Riverdale comes out on the CW, and I just love these characters, so I'm really looking forward to reading this one. I just feel like laughing. Then I picked up a bunch of Supergirl trades that I seemed to be missing from my shelves. So the first one is Superman, Supergirl, Maelstrom by Jimmy Palmiotti, Justin Gray, and Phil Noto. Oh, the cover art is definitely Phil Noto. That's totally his style. I'm not really sure what this one is about, but I love Supergirl and I will read all of her comics. So I kind of just picked the rest of these Supergirl ones up with that intention. Then I have Supergirl, Death in the Family by Sterling Gates, Fernando Dagnino, and Jamal Iqbal. This is a new Krypton collection. So there was actually a bunch of graphic novels that were all set on New Krypton that were Superman graphic novels, and I read all of those and I enjoyed all of those because Sterling is a fantastic writer. I don't know how I didn't notice that there was a Supergirl version because obviously I would have gotten that right away, but I'm thinking that I'm gonna reread those and then read this one. Although, oh no, never mind. I thought this was #3 in a series, but it's not, so that's good news. Then I have Supergirl Way of the World, and this is written by Kelly Puckett, who also wrote that Batgirl trade that I just showed earlier, and it has art by, I believe it's Drew Johnson. This is, again, just one that I haven't read and I need to, so now it's in my collection. Then I have Supergirl Beyond, and this is also by Kelly Puckett and Drew Johnson, so I'm guessing that these two go together. I know I looked all of this up when I was purchasing them, because I always try to buy things in chronological order because I like reading that way, and it gets confusing. The storylines get to be too much and you miss out on things if you don't read everything that comes before it. So yeah, but I usually need to do more research before I actually sit down to read them because comics can be very confusing. Then I picked up Robin Volume 2, Triumphant, and this is by Chuck Dixon, Tom Lyle, and Bob Smith. I showed the first volume of this in my last graphic novel haul, which was forever ago at this point. I love Chuck Dixon. He's probably one of my favorite DC writers of all time, because he just wrote so many runs that I really enjoy between Batgirl and Robin and Nightwing, and is just so good. I love his writing. So I'm really looking forward to reading this one. I actually may have already read this and I'm just not remembering because this is actually a reprint of the older comics. So I have to, again, consult my Goodreads and figure out if I did read these volumes previously. But even if I did, I'm definitely going to reread it because I'm kind of getting back into the 90s and early 2000s comics. And I just love those. I feel like those were my golden age, which I know some of my older friends have gotten mad when I say that because they're like, that's not the golden age of comics. And I'm like, well, that was the time that I grew up during, so those are the ones that I enjoy. Then I got Constantine Hellblazer by Ming Doyle and James Tynion IV. This is volume 1 going down, and this should be interesting because this is when they took Constantine out of the Vertigo universe and they moved him over to the DC Comics universe. I'm just curious how that change is going to affect his storylines because Constantine was always a very adult, very scary and serious kind of character, and he obviously was dealing with supernatural things that maybe weren't appropriate for children. So I'm curious how they're going to revamp his character to fit into the DC Comics label as opposed to the Vertigo label. And I love Ming Doyle's art, so again, really excited. And I love this cover. I think it's so pretty. Oh, then this was really exciting that I realized that they were also collecting. The DC's been releasing Flash books, which are basically, it's all of Jeff Johns' run. But what they're doing is the trades that were initially released, they're combining them into books instead of volumes. So this is book 1 of The Flash by Jeff Johns. And there are a bunch of different artists on it, I believe. I'm excited to go back and read this because I think I only really read Flash Rebirth by Jeff Johns, and I remember enjoying it, but I didn't really know too much else about where to start with Flash comics, so this just feels like a really good place. And then I also got the second book in this run as well, also by Jeff Johns, also with some various artists. And again, Captain Cold. I love Captain Cold. Next, I picked up some Booster Gold trades. So I got Booster Gold Past Imperfect, and this is by Keith Griffin, J.M. DeMatteis, Chris Batista, and Rich Perrotta. Then I also got Booster Gold Reality Lost. This is volume 3 in the series, and I have some other Booster Gold trades, so I'm hoping that I already have 1 and 2. This is by Dan Jurgens, Chuck Dixon, again, favorite, and Norm Rapmund. And then I also picked up volume 4 in that series, which is Booster Gold Day of Death. And I'm really looking forward to the Booster Gold and Blue Beetle movie because they said that it was going to be a buddy cop movie, and they're such a great duo in the DC Comics universe. So I'm really excited to see that, even though they have said that Booster Gold, his movie, is not necessarily going to be in the DC film universe, which is so confusing because DC just separates everything, whereas Marvel, everything is cohesive and nice and makes sense to people who are watching it. So I don't know why they're doing that, but I guess we'll find out as we get more news about it. Then speaking of the dynamic duo, I also picked up some Blue Beetle trades. I have Blue Beetle Reach for the Stars by John Rogers and Raphael Albuquerque. Oh, I did not realize that Raphael Albuquerque did artwork for Blue Beetle. That's kind of exciting. And then I also have Blue Beetle Road Trip, and this is by John Rogers, Heath Giffen, Cully Hammer, and again, Raphael Albuquerque. Then I have one of my favorite new characters, and this is Spider-Gwen Radioactive, and this is written by Jason Latour and has art by Robbie Rodriguez. It's the first volume because the actual first volume in the Spider-Gwen run was volume 0, so now this is volume 1. So that can be confusing because it sounds like it's the first, but actually it's the second. So if you're looking to read Spider-Gwen, make sure that you pick up the first volume first, volume 0. And that one is really good. I really love what they did with Gwen. I'm loving this alt universe. This is like, she's quickly become one of my absolute favorite characters because before any of this was even a thought, Gwen Stacy was always like one of my favorite Marvel characters, and I always believed that her and Peter Parker should be together. I am not a Mary Jane fan. I am totally a Gwen Stacy fan. So when this was announced, I was just like over the moon excited. And yeah, I've really been loving what they've been doing with it, and I cannot wait to continue reading her series. Then I have Peter Pan Volume 1 by Renee Deliz, I believe her name is. Yes. And Ray Dillon, who's her husband. This is a graphic novel that I kickstarted in 2013. So I had given up all hope and assumed that I was never going to be getting my money's worth for what I like donated to, because it's literally been 3 years. But albeit 3 years later, showed up in the mail. So that is very exciting that I actually did get my hands on this, and I'm really excited to read it because it's supposed to be very, very faithful to J.M. Barrie's original work, which should be nice, and I really like Renee's artwork. So yeah. And this is volume 1, so I guess there's gonna be more, but who knows how long that will take. Then on to the manga section of this haul video. I had shown in a previous video that wasn't a graphic novel and manga haul, it was just a regular book haul. I had shown the first volume of Princess Jellyfish, and now I have the second volume as well, and I already read this one and I loved it. And again, I loved the anime version of this, so these first 2 volumes have just been like so nice to revisit this story, and I'm really looking forward to getting like the next couple when they come out, because they continue the story like much further than the anime does. I'm not even going to tell you what this is about because there's just so much about it that it's like really fun to go into it blind, and it's really funny. Like, it's just really hilarious. A great series. It's a really hilarious and great series, and you should absolutely read it. Then this is like the next most exciting manga that I have to show you. They have decided to re-release Fruits Basket, but into like big collected editions, and they're so pretty, and I love like the whole aesthetic of them. So I have volume 1, and it's by Natsuki Takayama. And for those that don't know, it follows like the Chinese zodiac, and there is a girl who's always kind of an outsider, and she loses her mom, and then she starts trying to live in the woods and like have her own job and stuff so that she can be self-sufficient and not have to rely on anyone to like take care of her, because she's like, I'm a strong woman and everything. And then she meets these boys, and they invite her to live in their house with them as long as she does like all of the chores. And it turns out that they have the secret that they're actually like very closely related to the Chinese zodiac, and each of them represents a different animal. And anytime that someone hugs them, they will turn into their animal form. So it's really, really funny, and it's really good. And this is an anime that I loved so much when I watched it. So this is volume 1, and the spine is pink. We have volume 2, and this one has a blue spine. Then I have volume 3, and this one has a green spine. And finally volume 4, and this one has a like purple spine. And the rest of these, and also the rest of Princess Jellyfish, are gonna be continuously released throughout the rest of this year and next year. And I've already pre-ordered every volume that they've had up for sale on Amazon. Just look at how pretty they look together. Like, I'm so excited to get the rest of these and have these like prominently displayed on my manga bookshelf. Then I have 2 more books that I showed off in my vlog video when Monica and I went to Barnes & Noble, and that is Lieselette and the Witch's Forest. And this one I actually picked up. It's a new manga that came out, and I really wanted to get it because it's actually written by the same author that wrote Fruits Basket. So I know that I love that series, and this is about a witch and a forest, so I'm gonna be into that. And then I also picked up Tokyo Ghoul, and this is by Sui Ishida. This is about zombies, I believe. People have been like obsessed with Tokyo Ghoul lately, and I want to find out why. And also, again, this is a great time of year to be reading stuff like this because we're getting closer and closer to Halloween. Then I also got Yamuda-kan and the 7 Witches, and this was also in that vlog video that I spoke of, but it is by Miki Yoshikawa, and this is about a girl and a guy, and they both accidentally fall down the staircase, and when they wake up they realize that they've switched bodies, and it's because the girl is a kissing witch, so she has the power to switch places with somebody that she kisses, so when they fell down the stairs they accidentally kissed, which is like, this is like one of the most Japanese storylines that could possibly exist, and I love it. But there are 6 other witches rather within the school, and then the 2 of them form this club to try to find the other witches, and it just sounds like there's going to be so many hijinks and it's going to be really fun, and I've heard good things about it so far, so I'm into it. Then there is a volleyball anime that Andrew and I have been obsessed with lately, and it's called Haikyuu, and it's so good, and they've been releasing the manga form, so I decided to get that just in case there is anything in the story that isn't included in the anime. So far that's been released. I have volume 1, volume 2, and volume 3, and this is by, the story and art are both by Haruchi Furudate. That's totally not how you say it, but I'm really in love with these characters, and I never thought that I would like anything relating to sports, but this sports anime has me on the edge of my seat, and I think that maybe I would like regular sports better if there were like more inner monologue and I knew more about the characters' relationships, because I just don't like regular sports, but I'm loving this sports anime, so that's interesting. Then I got Komomo Confissery by Maki Minami. This is volume 4, and I also got volume 5. And I'm so excited to read these because I read the first 3 volumes very quickly and I love them. And the first one, the main character is like a little bit annoying, but then she gets better as it goes on. She's definitely like turning into a better person, and it's been really fun to experience her character arc. And also this takes place in a bakery, so there's just so many beautiful drawings of food, and I get so hungry when I read this, but I love it. Then I have The Heiress and the Chauffeur, and this is by Kiko Ishihara. It's about a girl who is an heiress, and her chauffeur, who obviously like drives her around, and there are all these rumors going around her school that there is like a romance brewing between the 2 of them, and she completely denies it, but then maybe there is. Then the next one that I got is Happy Marriage, and this is about a girl who is forced to marry the president of her dad's company in order to like help her dad out, and she doesn't want to be married to this person, but now that they are married and living together, they are trying to like find a way to make it work. And it just sounds interesting because I can never imagine being in that kind of situation, and I've heard really good things about this series, so it looks like it's going to be interesting. And then lastly, I have Peach Girl, and this is by Miwa Yuda. Again, probably not how you say that name. This is an anime that I know a lot of people love, and it's shoujo beat, and I love shoujo manga. That's my favorite genre of manga, like without a doubt. So I've been really looking into these, but they're all out of print, and I was able to find them for really cheap at this bookstore called Book Off in New York. They have like half price manga, and then they were also having like a huge sale on them too, and they have a lot of older volumes which are out of print, which is really nice. So I have here Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, Volume 4, Volume 5, Volume 6, Volume 7, Volume 8, and Volume 9. Then I picked up the majority of another shoujo series that I've been really wanting to get into because I've been looking for more shoujo manga because I feel like I've read a bunch of series that are out there and I just want more. So I got Kimi no Todoki. I'm not sure if that's even how you say it, but it's by Karuho Shina, and it is about a girl who has like jet black hair, and people are afraid of her because they think that she looks like the main character in a horror movie, so no one will talk to her, but she's actually just like really shy and really misunderstood. And then the most popular boy in their class befriends her, and I think everything's gonna start changing from there. So I have Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, Volume 4, Volume 5, Volume 6, Volume 7, Volume 8, Volume 9, Volume 10, Volume 11, Volume 12, and Volume 13. And there's actually like 25, I think, volumes in this series, so I figured that once I get through those, I'll buy the second half of the series because that was a lot of manga to just start with. But I've heard from people who I know enjoy the same kinds of manga as me that series is really good, and it has great reviews online, so that's why I was like not worried about getting that much of it to start. So those are all the graphic novels and manga that I have picked up in the past couple of months. I swear I will not wait this long again to do another one of these videos because this is like overwhelming and I feel like this video is going to be super long, and I'm sorry about that. So let me know if you've read any of these series or if you have any shoujo manga recommendations or superhero recommendations or just any other graphic novel recommendations, because I really enjoy reading in that format, so I'm always open to new suggestions. And if you've read any of these and you enjoy them, you can also let me know that, or if there's any that you're just excited to pick up now. And I will see you guys soon with a new video. Bye!